guys, welcome to Dylan's Little Hobbies, and today I am going to be talking about My Hero Academia Season 3, Episode 2. This is going to be a review for it. Well, this is going to serve as a review for this episode, but there's really something that I just really want to talk about, and that's a certain character that was introduced into this episode. I'll get to him in a minute. Let me say this. Did anybody, let me know down in the comments below, did anybody feel like this episode was rushed? Because while I absolutely love the episode, I don't know, it felt rushed. It felt like the storyline within this episode could have been brought out through 2 episodes. Now, while it could have been, I don't know if it should have been. Perhaps this was the best way that they could have done My Hero Academia. And the reason why I bring this up is because I am very used to... I've been reading and watching anime and manga ever since I was 12. And I'm 20, so I have had 8 years of experience of multiple different animes and series and multiple different mangas. And here's the thing. I am so used to reading the manga and absolutely loving it, but then when I go to the show, I absolutely end up enjoying it a lot more from the show than I did from the manga, even though, of course, the manga is the original story. I just feel like in the manga, because you have only so many pages, like the creators of the series, whenever they produce their stories in Shonen Jump, they only have like a certain amount of pages that they can fill. So what they tend to do is, because they need to get most of the story out there, is while they do draw some amazing action scenes, My Hero Academia, no doubt about it, in the manga has drawn some amazing action scenes. What they do in the anime, though, is because they have number one, a lot more time to do this, and they need to, increase the amount of how long the show goes on for. They usually tend to stretch some parts of the show, and I'm very used to seeing animes stretch certain parts of the story, like, and I'm not talking about filler, I'm talking about, like, action scenes, like, here's a really good example of it. In Naruto, for an example, so, and I know I compare everything to Naruto, but here's the thing. Naruto was the first series that I ever watched, so if I end up comparing My Hero Academia to Naruto a lot, I am sorry about that, but Naruto was the first series that I ever watched, so I compare just about everything to the first time, to the first series that I've ever seen, which is, of course, Naruto. So, here's the thing. In Naruto, the manga fights, they're incredible. Don't get me wrong. Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto, does an amazing job at drawing Naruto characters fight. But here's the thing about that. If they did the exact same animation when they did it in anime, it would only end up being about 5 to maybe 10 seconds of battle. Where in the anime, obviously they can't do that because they have to stretch these stories out as long as they can, plus they want to show how great of an animator that they actually are. What they usually do is they stretch out the battle scenes for a whole lot longer than they usually need to be. Like, Dragon Ball is known for this. Dragon Ball, even though the pages of that fight between Goku and Frieza is like maybe a chapter long, it takes like 3 hours. Like it takes like 3 days worth of animation that went into that fight for some reason, even though in the manga it takes only a second to read. It's just that's what anime is known for. Anime is usually known for stretching certain parts, especially fight scenes, in the manga, and that's why anime usually is loved. But in this episode, like, everything, and that's what's so nice about My Hero Academia, don't get me wrong, but everything in My Hero Academia, everything that you've seen on the page, so far, as much as I've seen, they've added maybe a few scenes to what was there, to give characters a little bit more shine. But for the most part, everything that you see on the screen is taken directly out of the anime. Compared to, of course, Naruto. Let's compare it to Naruto. Whereas Naruto, some of the scenes that are in the anime, and I'm not talking about filler, I'm just talking about simple, basic scenes of the anime, are not seen in the manga. Because originally they weren't there, the time restraints, page restraints, whatever you want to call it, they weren't there in the manga, and they were there in the anime to, of course, not only expand the length of the story, but to give us more of a connection to the characters, which was really nice. I just realized that when I first heard that My Hero Academia this season was only going to be 24 episodes long, well, 25 if you count the recap episode 1. I thought to myself, okay, I know everything that's happening in the trailer. I wonder about the pacing of this. I wonder if this is going to go by really, really fast. Because, the pacing for for season 1 and season 2, to me, was perfect pacing. It really was. But when I really started looking into it, the reason why it seemed like it was perfect pacing was because about 99% of everything that was in the manga was put right on screen. There was a very small amount that was added that was brand new. So when I look at this episode, I'm just so used to other animes stretching things out usually a lot longer than they need to be, that this was kind of a surprise to me. Like, I haven't seen My Hero Academia in a couple months now, so this was actually kind of surprising to me at how fast this episode and how much this episode got through. Like, I was really expecting, that fight in this episode where they end up fighting those beasts from the forest. I expected that to be like this entire episode. Okay, but it wasn't. It wasn't even half the episode. And then we get to we get to know, of course, the backstory of KATO. I think his name was KATO. Yeah, it's KATO, not KATO, right? I'm not Japanese. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. I think it's KATO though. And I wasn't expecting that till next episode. So with that, if they keep this pacing like this, oh, they should be just fine with 24 episodes to get through, but it's kind of interesting because I've just noticed that they're taking this literally straight off the page, and maybe that's what animes need to start doing, is they need to just start taking it straight off the page. But I just feel like they should have had a little bit more time showing the characters off, like they do in other anime, so we get more of a connection to those characters. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. It's just something that I thought of that was pretty darn interesting that I thought I would bring up. So let me actually talk about the episode for a sec. So the episode is they get on a bus to head out to their camping trip. Then Aizawa stops the bus, lets everyone stretch out. They think it's just because it's a pee break sort of thing, because Mineta really has to use the bathroom. He really has to pee in this episode. I thought it was funny. But anyway, they thought they were only just going to take a break. Turns out that wasn't the case. We get to meet the Pussycats. The Pussycats show up, and then they tell them that they're going to actually be running through the forest. And that the forest scene was great. I just wished I saw more of the forest scene. I think in the long run, perhaps it's really a good thing that they didn't do that, but I think right now I would like to see more of it. We didn't, I already went through all that. And then they get back to they actually get to the campsite, and then at the campsite, uh, Midoriya notices a little kid and wonders, why is he here? He's like a 9-10-year-old kid, and it turns out that he's actually one of the Pussycat's nephews, and his name is Kato. And Kato, let me tell you what, Kato, and I cannot be the only one who thought of this when I first heard of this character, especially heard of this character's backstory. And even though I read the manga, I haven't read the manga in for so long, guys. It's been so long since I've read the manga that I don't even remember this part. But Kato, let me show you here. I'm going to show you. Kato is the exact, it's not a ripoff or anything like that, but it's the exact same story as a character from Naruto named Inari. So, let me tell you Inari's story real quick. So, Inari is this little boy that Naruto meets while he's on his mission. Inari doesn't like him because Naruto is trying to be sort of a hero. He wants to become the Hokage, and he believes in himself, and Inari doesn't. Inari doesn't just not believe in him, but he doesn't believe in himself because of what happened to his dad. So, it's not his birth dad, but apparently that when he was a kid, he wasn't very strong, and his dad, his father figure, came to town, and he absolutely fell in love with them. And his father figure, I don't remember his father figure's name, but he sort of became the town's hero. And then a bad guy came, and a bad guy killed his father, and not just killed him, but he strung him up to a post, sliced off his arms and his head, right in front of Inari's little eyes. And that's when he was really, really young. So now he wants nothing to do with anyone who thinks they can be a hero, because Inari just hates that. Like he doesn't believe that anyone can do that anymore. And of course, by the end of the story, Naruto eventually convinces him that that's just because his dad passed away. It doesn't mean that there are no more heroes out there. And it even gets Inari to eventually say, okay, I want to be a hero. I want to be a hero like my father and like Naruto. The exact same thing, and this could be somewhat of a spoiler, so I'm sorry, but this is kind of a spoiler for the next couple of episodes. The exact same thing happens to Kato, or Koto, or Kata. I think I'm just gonna stick with Kata. This kid. The exact same thing happens with this kid. It's not like it's a ripoff, but it's pretty much the same storyline. I thought it was interesting to see that, and I really like the fact that he's here. He's basically Inari 2.0, and it just brings back memories of when I used to watch and read Naruto. It really makes My Hero Academia that much more special to me, but that's just kind of an interesting comparison that I found that perhaps you guys would have liked to know. And yeah, by the end of this, kind of a spoiler, I'm not going to tell you exactly how, but by the end of it, Midoriya does end up convincing a little Kato here that he can be a hero. Not only that he can be a hero, but that there can be heroes out there, even though his parents died. And the way his parents died is a bad guy killed his parents, and now he believes that nobody except his parents could be a good guy, and since his parents left, there couldn't be any real heroes in the world. That's basically Kato's whole story. It's the exact same thing with Inari. I thought it was just something interesting that I would point out. Other than that, I really liked the episode. It was really funny, really enjoyable. Pacing, I don't know, it just seemed like it went by too quick. I'm so used to animes not going by so quickly. But maybe this is the future of anime. Maybe this is the way that really should be. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe for more My Hero Academia on my little channel here. And thank you guys for watching. I'm out. Bye.